Hi there, trendsetters from all over the world who have found this channel. Big shout out to regular intrepid viewers. Of course, we're going to have a look at the Yeti in June. Before, just a trigger warning, just to clear up any misunderstandings that might happen if you're a new viewer. Just want to let you know, on this channel, I think of POTUS as a junkyard dog with a messiah complex, blatantly unfit to govern. So let's just be perfectly clear about where we all stand. So if you think he's remotely okay, off you go. There's plenty of conspiracy theories out there, and back you go to Fox Entertainment, illegally calling itself Fox News. It's registered as an entertainment channel, as is this channel. So just letting you all know before I get into any of the legal manoeuvrings, entertainment channel. Other than that, hi, how are you holding up, guys? Before I forget, look, you can now get your own Truthless Tiger mask. And you can get buttons and all sorts of cheap things if you can't afford the t-shirt. So I'll put the link up for that. And I'll also put a link up for how the Yeti and his criminal family are benefiting from the hydroxychloroquine nonsense. There's a good article describing their connections to the pharmaceutical companies. France has just come out and said a big no to it for COVID. All the real scientific studies are saying this is a drug that has very specific benefits for very specific conditions and not for COVID. Side effect can be death. So here we are, 100,000 Americans dead in 100 days, and it goes off golfing. He's entering the Nero phase. You know? So let's see what the cards say about the trumpet in June. In June. Let's have a look. Trump in June. Pull you down here. So, oh, that's a weird looking person. Week 1, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Week 4 starts off with the tower, but look at that, but oh, the sun softens it a bit. Okay. Massive amounts going on, as you can well imagine. So on top, this is a senior judicial figure. This could be the case with Flynn, Judge Sullivan in turn getting some Rottweiler female lawyer to represent him in this case. I think it might be that case. There's so many court cases with the Yeti, it's hard to keep track, is it not? Like, there are so many individual cases, him and the White House and every department and everything. It's hard to keep track, but my first port of call was Flynn, and the Sullivan case is sort of hanging over June. I don't know when something gets decided, if viewers can let me know, but I think it's hovering over all of it. Week 1 of June, Queen of Pentacles. This could be Nancy Pelosi. I think it might be Nancy in this context. So the Queen of Pentacles tries to look after people. Now, there are other women who could be represented by this card, but I'll just tell you my initial impressions, because when I do these monthly spreads, they're very complex. And so sometimes I'll revisit that later in the spread. But for now, I'm happy to roll with it being Pelosi, because it's right next to my star card, Hope and Inspiration. And this is my card of the USA at its best. Now, the USA has a considerable underbelly, as we know, that has been unleashed by the beast. But this is the USA in a good way, and I think this is Pelosi, and no doubt the endless negotiations trying to get something to the American people through past the GOP Senate. I think this is the first week is dominated by that. And the lovers, I think she's going to pull it off. It may not be what the radical progressives want. It might not be what each of us individually who follow this channel want. But it is the lovers card. And it's interesting, this is a reading on Trump, and he hasn't come up at all in week one. It's all the Dems. How curious is that? So, week two, this tells a different story. So, this card is coming up more and more, the Six of Wands. When I first read on this stuff back in 2017, I saw that from the Dems and to the left generally, a younger male figure who we hadn't met yet coming in. It's certainly not Biden, but there's someone else. And I think if you look at Biden as at best the security blanket for America, this is another energy again, and it's a person who can galvanize the imagination of middle America and the left. There's nothing you can do for the rusted on supporters. There's no cure for stupid. So you've got to just let that play out. They are determined to chain themselves to him. So you've got to move on. This is someone else, and I'm dying to know who this person is. A bit like the Obama energy, only, I mean, maybe it is Obama coming back into the fray. Week two, maybe that. But I still think there's this person pending, which is exciting. Between now and November, someone's going to manifest that actually makes people excited to vote as opposed to vote blue no matter who, and coming from a position of trauma and paranoia. This guy provides sanity and inspiration. So we know also that's not Trump, because here is Trump, the smug merchant. So week two, he might have a win on the Sullivan case, i.e., you know, that the blatant corruption, the dismantling of the Department of Justice is so total that the new banana republic of Trumpland will give him a win. Do not fret, because this is not a permanent state. It's an interim state of hell if he has a win. So there he is. Week two, still counting his money. This could be trying to move the Republican convention into one of his venues and states. So he blatantly, viewers, emoluments being acted out in live time. The emoluments clause being broken. A president must not profiteer from his office. Let's just watch that and watch how America reacts to it. Now, here he is, happy face, the Gemini, happy face, not so happy face. This is him saying it's all right, as long as I'm making money, things are okay. Well, given he doesn't pay his bills, you know, if you looked at the ledger, any basic accounting would tell you he owes more than he has, which is, I think, his big fear over the taxes coming out and stuff. I don't think he's so much worried that he had dealings with Russia and China and other compromising things. No. It's the fact that he's actually in debt for hundreds of millions that is the embarrassment. Now, here we go. We're still in week two. He's going to be taking a reprieve in between battles. Personally, I don't think he is taking the hydroxychloroquine. because he has too many compromised conditions. I think he's pretending. He may even be taking a placebo and thinks he is. But this is resting up and going back to his tried and true friend, which is Adderall, in between battles. By week 3 of June, week 3, June, is he now a hostage to his own corruption and filth and lies and depravity? Or has he taken the country hostage? Why I'm umming and ahhing is the magician card is right underneath it. So I suspect he's a hostage to what's going on. But again, the Teflon Don is the only name that I'll allow to go forward. If ever there was a Teflon character, it's this one. And somehow he manages to convert that. Right. So week 3 starts off really badly for him, but he manages to conjure up, literally conjure up something. Oh, I get it now. The King of Pentacles, this is him, this is the greedy king. This is the guy who has money, jewels, real estate, castles, power, and he still wants other people to pay him tribute. That's him. So I think week 3, June, is going to be the economic rebound. Okay, so it's going to be fairly obvious that in about a month from now, many millions of people will be returning to work, will be coming off furlough, will be finding some way to operate in the economic system again. And that's going to give him a huge bounce because he can say, look at all these millions of people who've been employed by the 3rd week of June. Aren't I wonderful? When in fact, it's just people going back to work. I think that's his magician thing. I think that's what he does there. Anyone who inhabits the real world for more than a nanosecond will understand that this is false, but it'll give him good numbers to play with. And he's going to need them because week 4, the Tower. So the contrast between week 3 of June and the final week of June are profound. This is when it's going to be really obvious. And in this case, the sun shining next to the Tower. One interpretation is it could considerably soften his Tower moment. That can happen. Or alternatively, light shone on the Tower moment. I think there could be a major revelation. I know all of us as readers have been saying for the last 2 years, he's got to come to the end of his run of luck at some point. He's going to commit something, and we'll see different people, different players, whether it's Barr or Pompeo or Flynn or anyone going, wow, these grossly illegal, borderline traitorous acts. And he still comes up. But I think there's going to be a doozy in week 4, one that will actually even have us with our jaws agape. So how's he going to handle that? Well, by being the Page of Cups, by retreating to his juvenile status, because he has such an undeveloped mind, an undeveloped emotional age, an undeveloped soul, that he's going to go into a very watery Neptunian denial of it all. I think he's going to slide laterally somewhat out of the picture week 4. Okay, now, just as a little bonus read on this, I'm just going to do a quick 4 cards on the astrological influence for each of those weeks. Right, here we go. I love these cards. These are the fate shifters. Okay, so let's have an astro look. Astrology for week 1 of June. Virgo, week 2, week 3, and week 4. Whoosh. So remember we had these cards Pelosi trying to do good things for the USA and the lovers and all that stuff, remember? Even though it was Trump's reading. That's because it was ruled by Virgo. Calmness, thinking, looking after the body, doing the right thing. Virgo energy in week 1. So lap up the good rays in week 1. It's not to say there won't be ghastly things happening, because from now on there is no way a whole week would pass without it. But we're talking about the overarching energy. Week 2, which is where he has a legal ruling that impacts him, but he's still just counting his money in the castle, is an Aquarian energy. So there's a clarity attached. Swords are ruled by air. There's a clarity attached to this. This judgment's going to be so important. Then week 3, the real doozy. Remember, he had the hostage card, the magician, and the greedy king. The energy over that is Pluto. And Pluto digs deep. Pluto takes you back to what you haven't learnt. And he's going to use his own devious powers as Voldemort. No, I think Voldemort's more Mitch McConnell, isn't it? His evil powers, but Pluto is digging deep into the bitumen, the tarmac, the asphalt, the dark, heavy matter that is the Yeti's soul. Week 3. That's why week 4, he has the tower, the sun, and actually loses the plot. At the end of week 4, I'll go as far as to say he's going to lose the plot. Is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus is the disruptive harbinger of change, whether you're ready or not. Uranus brings the tower. So I'm certainly, as a reader, not going to say at the end of week 4 he will be gone, because I think there's a bigger picture at play that we in the world, as well as you in America, have to play out this saga. But week 4 is going to see a crashing down of all those who have supported him until now. They're still going to be clinging on by their fingernails running down the blackboard, but they're defending the indefensible by week 4. And Uranus, where's my Uranus card? Wake up is a major wake-up call. So he's got all that stuff that he's doing, like taking on states just for sending out an intention for an absentee ballot. You know, the crazy stuff that he's doing. So I'll come back to you real soon with the fine print on the crazies. But in the meantime, June 4, expect him to be using the figures of everyone going back to work as a win, as his personal sort of validation for being. Will people fall for it? Oh, God, I hope not. So there you go, guys. Now, don't forget your little masks. I'll put the link up. Keep the comments rolling. I try and read as many as I possibly can and get back to you. So love you guys. Okay, ciao for now. Love, 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 love. Bye.